is a major threat to your liberties, and senators should treat it as such. Any Republican who votes to confirm Judge Jackson, she might be the nicest person on earth, has an incredible resume, Harvard Law School, all of that. Anyone who is serious about preserving our Constitution has to vote no on this confirmation. Issues like parental rights, gun rights, the First Amendment, all of it is on the line, and she will be a stalwart vote to radically cut away at our Bill of Rights and our cherished liberties. Now,
yes, okay, so the nomination is in. Biden's choosing Ketanji Brown Jackson. We knew that last week. Well, then they responded, and we knew that they were gonna lose it. We knew that, but man, the GOP tweets out, Joe Biden just nominated a radical left-wing active. She's an academic and a judge. Like, she's not, I don't think she was at Occupy Wall Street. You've marched a lot, Francesca. Was she like Black Mask, Antifa? No, weird. They put together this like cheat sheet of her saying that she's repeatedly ruled against the Trump administration and struck down conservative policies. Yeah, but like, was she right to? Like, did it make judicial sense? Was it consistent with the Constitution? Doesn't matter. She was against our side, so we don't like her. She's Democrat partisan, having worked for Obama's presidential campaign and donated to Obama. So would you like to ban anyone who's donated to political campaigns? We can have that conversation if you want to have that conversation, but I don't think you want to have that conversation. They didn't have a problem with their judges having donated to Republicans. So look, we knew that this was gonna happen, Francesca. How do you think, and we'll get to we have Tucker Carlson absolutely losing it, explicit racism. How do you think they should respond? Should they just go about their business, have the hearing, try to push it through, or do they need to get out in front of all of this and do some PR for her?
You mean the Biden administration?
Yeah, and those are gonna be trying to shepherd it through the Senate.
Well, honestly, the White House did push out a few infographics of their own. And I was like, oh, okay, whoever is in the graphics department of the White House crushing it. Like, about like what you should know about Ketanji Brown Jackson. I was like, that's very cool. And she is pretty dope. I mean, honestly, being one of the first person since Thurgood Marshall to have been a defense attorney sitting on the bench, that's huge, right? And also it's striking that we don't have anyone who's been a defender. She was a public defender at one point, currently on the Supreme Court. Like, how? Yeah, in what?
Exactly.
So you've never represented any defendant ever? Like, no, that's so biased. Obviously, the entire court is biased in the favor of corporate interests and the 1%. Honestly, they still have the majority. Guys, you can give this up. But I know you're gonna go into some of the, like, I mean, beyond that sort of like 80s prom queen Barbie, whatever she was saying. But like Marsha Blackburn, a senator, has tweeted that she wants to meet with Ketanji Brown Jackson to see if she's a person of, quote, high character. Like, what period piece? What like antebellum period piece is that from? That's some Gone with the Wind BS. Yeah.
You're not setting her up with your eldest son. Like, it's to be. By the way, should he? I'm looking. I am sure that she voted for Kavanaugh. Like the idea that now they have these supposed. And by the way, like, can they vote against her? Sure. It was not always the case that you just expected that the opposition would vote 100% against her. And in this particular case, 3 Republicans supported her for the position that she's in right now. We will see if any of them vote for her on the SCOTUS. But the knee-jerk need to pitch her as some sort of radical, like, it is deserving of parody, and in fact has received some. We have this tweet from Ian Millhiser who says, in choosing the radical left Ketanji Brown Jackson for the Supreme Court, Biden caved to left-wing groups who think that the EPA is constitutional, that the Voting Rights Act is the law of the land, and that Obamacare should not be repealed by a single judge in Fort Worth. Exactly, the horror. But anyway, good tweet, Ian, by the way. So Tucker is gonna comment on that. You already knew what was coming. When you look at his face, you know what's coming, but here it is.
Let's say you really didn't care about the country you lead. Let's say you wanted to humiliate and degrade it and undermine its ancient institutions. What would you do? Well, you might take the single most important appointed position in the entire government and announce in public that you were filling that position on the basis of appearance, not on the basis of skill or wisdom or fealty to the founding documents of the United States, but on the basis of the way the person looks. So it's not a question of saying, we found the most qualified person who happens to look this way. What you're saying is, we found a person who looks this way, who, by the way, may be qualified. That would send a very clear message that you don't like the country you run and you don't care about the institutions that its ancestors built. And Joe Biden is doing that. We'll have details straight ahead.
We knew Francesca that it was coming. That is just disgusting. Like, he knows that according to the standards that they have previously said they cared about, that she has all of that. She went to the right schools. She was Harvard editor of the law review. She's a judge for multiple years. She has experience. She has an actual case history that you can analyze. If you want to find specific things to have an issue with, you could choose to do that. I am assuming you would have done that, Tucker, if you could have, but you can't. So you fall back on the, well, I don't like the look of her. She was only chosen because she's black. That's the only possible reason. And he wants to believe, I'm not saying she couldn't be qualified and black. I'm just going to reassure my audience that I'm assuming it. We're not going to analyze her qualifications. He's not going to go through the different courts she's served on. He's not going to dig into her case history. He is just going to label her an affirmative action hire. That is what his show is there for.
I can't believe he's still on the air. I mean, I watched that and I'm like sick to my stomach. And I can't believe that the advertisers haven't jumped ship. I can't believe that even Fox News, who seems to be shamed into, at least taking some COVID protocol measures, even though every single person on its network is showing misinformation about COVID. Maybe like at what point are they going to wise up? He'll be fine on his own. He'll join, whatever. He'll reinvigorate the Blaze. He'll reinvigorate he'll start his own media company. He will be fine, but just not beaming this poison into everyone's minds day in and day out. It's so racist. It's so unbelievably racist. And look, dig into her best. She actually is pretty dope. And of course they'll use this against her. They'll keep on doing this. She defended someone at Guantanamo, was held at Guantanamo. She sentenced the Comet Pizza shooter, the Pizzagate shooter, to 4 years in prison. They'll hate that.
Yeah.
They absolutely will hate that. So yeah, if you do some digging, of course they're gonna hate her. Here's the thing though, the right has been successful in putting into play a Machiavellian plan to take over this country's Supreme Court. They've been grooming their justices since the Bush administration, since they were working on overturning that illegal election in 2000, right? They continue on until that. You got Amy Coney Barrett, Justice Kavanaugh, all of these people clerking and working with the far right. And now they're in power. What more do you want? You have the majority. You're slowly turning this country even into more of a corporatocracy, of a kleptocracy, of an oligarchy.
Yeah.
Why do you need this? You're just doing this to give red racist meat to your base.
Yeah. I mean, you identified it. We have very different goals fundamentally. What is the goal of a show like this? What is the goal of the Habituation Room? Has a goal politically. We don't hide that. There is a world we can conceive of that we hope to move us towards. They don't need to do that because they're at that world, not the one we would conceive of, but the one that they would. They live in it. He is incredibly wealthy. Tucker Carlson could every day could just go buy a new car, crash into a wall. Every single day for the rest of his life, he'll be perfectly fine. We can't conceive of the power and money and privilege that they have, and they need to maintain it. And the only way that you can do that is by distracting people, confusing them, making them hate Ketanji Brown Jackson, and making sure, by the way, that their hatred of her is founded on no actual information about what she's actually like. I'm not saying you have to like her, but you should probably look into it a little bit before you decide. In any event, I'm gonna show you one more brief little video. Tucker was not satisfied with his own commentary. He brought in a guest to also badmouth her, so we have that.
Really does undermine the credibility of the court. If I were the judge, I'd be a little offended that I was out in the White House having this announcement next to the last big affirmative action pick, Kamala Harris. She did not go so well for the country. So if she gets selected, hopefully this one is better.
I sure hope so, for the country.
Oh yeah, I just hope so for the country. It's like I don't want to say these terrible, awful things that I scripted in. I want it for the country. It ruins the credibility. Not having Kavanaugh and all of the allegations against him, and him going to testify and screaming at the camera for hours while he experiences unending meat sweats. That doesn't hurt the credibility. Just having Ketanji Brown Jackson, judge, Court of Appeals, Harvard, blah, 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 all that stuff. What? Like you might be watching this and think, okay, well, I don't watch the news all day long. What is it that they're not referencing? What is John not acknowledging that is so terrible about her that it means that she single-handedly destroys the credibility of the court? That nothing, there is nothing. It is just that she has been picked. That's all that it is, and it's gross.
I mean, do we need to remember Brett Kavanaugh, Keg Stan Kavanaugh, crying in his confirmation hearing? Do we need to remember that he has multiple credible rape allegations? Come on.
There was nobody that you could pick that would not have at least as many, I guess, according to them.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.